Okay, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Girl Up Leadership Summit. This workshop is going to be about starting and leading an active Girl Up club. The goal of this workshop is to increase your understanding of the intersection between gender equality and Girl Up leadership by equipping our prospective club leaders with a network and some tools to feel confident in creating and leading a Girl Up club. Ultimately, we support your calling to start an action-driven club. Our agenda for this workshop will be educational club building presentation and activity, skills building and leadership strategy presentation. Then we will do a panel discussion to answer some questions. Then we will go over a call to action and we will provide you resources links in the chat box. And then we'll do a Q&A where the audience can ask us questions and we'll be able to answer them. Presentation speakers. My name is Brianna Shaw. I'm the president and coalition leader of the Rocky Mountain region for Girl Up.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I am Taya, and I am the president of the University of Chicago Lab School's Girl Up chapter. I'm also part of Girl Up's action group, and my pronouns are she/her. Thanks again for joining.
Hi everyone, my name is UDT. I'm joining in from Dubai. So I'm the president of the Girl Up Dubai Club, co-coalition leader of Girl Up Dubai, and I'm also part of the Gender Equality Action Group along with Taya. My pronouns are she, her, and thank you so much for joining in.
Okay, then now I'm just going to hand it over to Tia to start the first part of the work. All right, what's up everybody? My name is Brianna Shaw and I'm the coalition leader of Girl Up for the Rocky Mountain region. It's an honor to be here to speak with you all. So let's just get started. So this portion of the workshop is starting and leading an active Girl Up club, the leadership strategy. So I'm going to give you guys some leadership strategies for when you're starting your Girl Up club. So the agenda for this portion is leader of self concept, leader of peers tools, and I'm also going to give you guys some leader of change tools. Leader of self concept. What is the leader of self definition? It's the practice of intentionally influencing your thinking, feelings, and actions towards your objective, from Brian and Kazan. Leadership of self, step 1. Number 1, be a confident leader. You should be comfortable standing and speaking in front of your fellow club members. It's natural to be a little bit nervous when you first become the club's leader, but you still want the club members to respect your authority. You should be comfortable giving orders and setting a schedule. If there are any discrepancies of opinion, it is up to you to make the final decision. You also need to have the confidence to hold your club members accountable to the rules of the club and also to deadlines. Leader of self, step 2. Number 2 is to listen to your club members. As much as you need to have the respect of your club members, you also need to actively listen to their ideas and concerns. For example, when someone comes up to you to talk about an issue, take them seriously. If you don't have the time to address it right then, let them know you'd rather talk about it later when you have more time because you really value what they have to say. The positive interaction of all your club members will create a successful club. Create a democratic decision-making process rather than overriding the opinions of others. Leadership of self, step 3. Number 3, keep your meetings fun. No matter what type of club you are leading, you want to make sure that your members enjoy coming and bring friends. Change up the style of the meeting and the meeting spot. For example, having a combination of Zoom and in-person meetings opens up more opportunities for member attendance. Take time to do purely fun activities with your club members, like having a movie or a game night or volunteering together. This will help create friendships within the club. Another idea is to bring snacks to the meetings and take time to play games. Kicking off meetings with an icebreaker can be a good idea to loosen everybody up. So now we're going to talk about leader of peers, attracting members. Starting the club is important and there are ways to attract members, either announcing the club at school or by making a community post. My Girl Up Club started at the height of COVID, so I decided I want to turn a bad situation into something good by creating my Girl Up Club. So down below you can see my e-card, so whenever someone needs to contact me, I will send them my e-card. And then on the right, this is the community post ad that I put out when I started my Girl Up Club, and within a week we had like 5 members. It was awesome. Leader of Peers, uniting members. There are things that can help your members to feel united and even stand out to others. You can make matching t-shirts, photo sessions to post for social media and promotions, and also club social events. So we have a lot going on up here. So at the top is the club promo for social media. So me and my club did a photo shoot when our Girl Up Club shirts arrived, and we did awesome photos for promotion, and we got to put it on the Girl Up website. So that's the first 2 photos. And then on the right, we went to a club social outing. So this was around Halloween. So me and my girls went to a Halloween festival, and it was really cool because we got to ride rides, eat snacks, and just relax and have fun with each other. And then at the bottom left, you could see the Girl Up design. We've made a few designs for our Girl Up shirts, but this was our first design that we came up with, and it's also the design in the top 2 pictures. And then at the bottom, that just shows teamwork for our first community project, which was when we made handmade masks, which I'll go into it in a little bit. So now we're going to go over some Leader of Change tools. Number 1, Girl Up clubs are action-oriented, which means you should be planning the activities throughout the year. Number 2, after your first meeting, you need to follow through. Make sure to stay in close communication with your club members and set regular meeting times and map out what you want to accomplish over the course of the school year. And number 3, you've got your advisor, your recruited members, and you plan for your first meeting. Now what's next? What do Girl Up clubs actually do? And to put that in one word, everything. Clubs spread awareness and inform others about the challenges facing adolescent girls around the world. Some ideas are to fundraise through donation drives and online club fundraising pages, to advocate for policies that support girls, to serve your local community through volunteerism and outreach. The Girl Up Community and Club Leader book both have tons of activity ideas to help you get started with your club. This next slide will show some pictures of how my club served its community in both non-monetary and monetary ways. So this is a tour of the Girl Up Rhodes Ranch Community Club projects in the last school year. At the top, we have our hand-sewn face mask for women's shelter. This was our first community project, and it was super fun, and it was an awesome way to spend time with my new club members. So there is a women's shelter here in Las Vegas called Safe Nest, and it's a women and children's shelter for victims of domestic abuse. So it was really cool because this was also at the height of COVID pandemic. So not a lot of people had access to masks at the time. So me and my girls made about 300 hand-sewn masks, but with these masks, we also put a twist on it. We called them fashion masks. So we got really cute fabrics and then we sewed it up. And we also made different sizes for the children so they're not swimming in their mask. And it was really cool because it made the women and children feel good about wearing a mask because they're fashionable. So that was one of my favorite community projects. Our second community project was handmade Valentine cards for senior citizens. This was also during the quarantine part of the COVID pandemic here in the US. So because of that, the senior citizens weren't allowed to get visitors because of COVID. So they started getting really depressed. So me and my girls, we made Valentine cards for them just to make their day a little better and to lighten up their moods. Community project number 3, backpack drive for a women's shelter. This was for the same women's shelter that I was talking about earlier called Safe Nest. So we made about 20 to 30 backpacks and we stuffed them to the rim with school supplies. It was really awesome. And this was our monetary community project, and in fundraising, $2,000 was raised. So it was super cool and we got to fill it up. And we did this because for some people, school season is hard because it also means cost because you have to buy all the school supplies, all the backpacks. So by doing this drive, we just wanted to take a load off of the women because they're probably, who knows what everyone's going through or what they're going through. So we just wanted to help them out a bit. So this fourth community project was one of the most special and important community projects of my club. So this was a school supply drive supported by the Raiders football team and WWE and Girl Up headquarters. And to our surprise, we were also honored at a banquet held at the NGM Grand Hotel. And it was super cool because the banquet was hosted by Girl Up in partnership with Raiders and WWE. And we got to go on a panel and we got to talk about women's rights, women in sports, and gender equality. And then me and my girls got to sit down and dine at the end of the banquet with Melissa Kirby. And Melissa Kirby is the wonderful woman who started Girl Up in the first place. And it was super cool, and we got to talk on a panel. And then at the end, there were a bunch of people there, some Girl Up clubs from different schools in the area. And we all just stuffed at least 200 backpacks full of school supplies. And it was really cool because we knew that we were helping a lot of people, but mostly helping our community. So here is the Leader of Change summary. So to sum it all up, because Girl Up clubs are action-oriented, after the first meeting, you should be planning activities throughout the year. There are several ways to advocate and spread awareness about the challenges facing girls and women around the world, including fundraising, advocating for policies that support girls, and serving your local community through volunteerism and outreach. Remember, when you invest in your community, you can make a global impact. Community projects can make a positive difference, whether it is monetary or non-monetary. So now I'm going to go over some frequently asked questions. How many members should my club have? Girl Up requires that you have 5 core members. I mean, this is a club after all. Girl Up clubs must be open to any individual that wants to join. We also know there is strength. Keep in mind the number of members in your club isn't as important as the commitment of those members. By the way, boys can join Girl Up too. How should I structure my club? It's a good idea to designate roles for club members to provide structure and set expectations for responsibilities. What you want to accomplish over the years will help determine what positions your club should have. It's up to you to decide if you want to host elections or appoint officers. Me personally, with my club, I appointed officers, and it was actually really cool because all my girls, after they were appointed, they got to write an inauguration speech, and it was way bigger than I thought because the parents were on the Zoom, and it was so cool. Everyone came up with an awesome inauguration speech, and it was very cool. So I chose to appoint officers, but you could also host elections. It's completely your preference. The core officer positions are outlined in the Constitution above, but you can also have positions like photographer, social media, and webmaster to ensure your club page stays updated and active in the Girl Up community and online in general. How do I recruit members? When you are just starting, spreading the word is key. Make sure everyone at your school knows about your club, whether it's through colorful posters, morning announcements, or social media. Because students have a lot of activities going on, make sure you clearly state when and where meetings will be held. The more organized you are, the more likely students will show up and keep showing up. Don't forget to use social media too. I don't live in the US. Can I still start a club? Absolutely. Girl Up is a global movement for gender equality, and we want to make sure we reach as many girls as possible. Clubs from any country are encouraged to register their club and get connected in our global movement. In fact, Girl Up clubs have registered for more than over 100 countries. How are clubs from around the world different? Here at Girl Up, we value all clubs equally because we know every club has the potential to empower girls in their community and around the world. Clubs might look different and lead different types of activities, but we think that diversity makes our movement special. Clubs are encouraged to think about the issues facing their own communities and countries, and to set their own goals based on the difference they want to make. How do I navigate the Girl Up online community? You could log in at the website down below, and if you haven't registered your club, you could go to community.girlup/signup, And then once you're logged in, check out the various pages in the Girl Up community and watch our video tutorials to learn more about how it works. So I have some resources provided and I'm going to put that in right now. This is a hyperlink that will have all the resources from my presentation, so you guys will have access to it if you want to look at it later. Okay, so back to the slideshow. Resources to be provided. So we will give you a sample announcement to post that announces and invites members to join on social media or community groups. We will also give you a sample PowerPoint presentation to guide your club meetings. You'll also get a sample club agenda and some sample Girl Up logos that could be used for printing materials. We will also provide the frequently asked questions page. Leader of self, leader of peers, and leader of change takeaways. If there's a few things I want you to take away from my portion of the workshop, it's going to be a confident leader. Listen to your club members, keep your meetings fun, utilize the tools given to attract new members, recall the various ways to unite and distinguish your club, and be an action-driven club and plan your activities ahead of time for the entire year. And always remember, when girls rise, we all rise. Thank you, and that's it of my presentation. So I'm going to stop sharing screen, and then we're going to head that over to Aditi, I think.
Yep. Hello everyone.
Real quick. The reason I decided to join Girl Up was because this was when quarantine hit. So it was a really tough time for everyone because school was done. So I knew that I wanted something to do because I don't want to just be home all the time and, So I decided I was going to turn a bad situation into a good situation. So I saw Girl Up, and then I started communicating with Melissa Kirby, and she gave me all the information I needed to start the Girl Up Club. So then I put my ad out, and so I started it to turn a bad thing into a good thing. And I'm just so happy that within a year or a few years, we were able to just grow so much in our community and get the recognition that we got. And because the recognition shows me that what we're doing is really making a difference, and the difference isn't going unnoticed. So the goals that I've set for my club, and I chose these. So the goals I set was, at first, I didn't really understand Girl Up. I didn't start by knowing everything like in Taya's presentation. So I was kind of learning as I go, and I'm still learning as I go. But I knew that I wanted to definitely make good friends and make a difference in my community, do some volunteerism, just do some good in my community, because I know a lot of people around the world, but it's also in my community, we're probably going through stuff, trying to adjust to the pandemic and the quarantine. So I really just wanted to make a difference in my community and to help people out, just take loads off of them. And yeah, so how was your club done with the meeting, and what impact have you made in your community? So with the meetings, my club did meetings. We started weekly, and then once we started doing community projects, we just did bi-weekly, because usually when we did a community project, we would take a break and then do it again. So meeting my club, it was so fun because I had all the girls come over, and we've only been communicating online. So it's meeting them in person. All my club kind of lives in my neighborhood, so it was really cool because I made good friends. We live nearby, so it's always easy for carpools, for anything. If someone needs a ride, it's easy because we're all in the same area. And the impact we've made in our community, so far we're doing pretty good with making impacts. We were, as I said in my presentation, honored at the MGM by Girl Up in collaboration with the Raiders and WWE, so we got to talk on a panel. And The impact I've made on my community personally, I think was a lot because in a lot of my community projects, I was doing things for people. Like when I made Valentine cards for the senior citizen, I wasn't doing any of the community projects to benefit me. I was doing it for my community, and the impact was shown because I also got the President's Volunteer Service Award and pin, and I got a letter signed by the president in 2021. So that was another sign like you're doing big things. And me and my Girl Up Club are still active, so I'm really excited to see the new things we'll come across and the more impact we'll make.
Later and sharing a template for how your club can make a Notion page as well. Off to Brianna.
So with my club, what I did to assign or no, to appoint leadership roles in the club, I would so on our first Zoom meeting, I had a presentation, same layout as the presentation I used for today. And I listed out the leadership roles that were open or the leadership roles that were available, basically, because all of them were available, because it's a new club. And I had the girls pick which one they would be interested in and they want to participate in. So after the girls picked which role they want, that's how we did it. Then we did the inauguration speech, and that was really cool because all my girls wrote an inauguration speech when they accepted their leadership roles, and it was really cool because they had their parents in the Zoom call, and they did really good long speeches, and they said who they were grateful for and all of that. It was super cool. So what I did was I laid it out, and then I had the girls pick, and then they did a speech, and it was super awesome. And then after the year is over and it's a new year for the club, I do promotions. So if, let's say, you were a treasurer, once it's a year, if you want to be promoted to vice president, you can. Just let me know. So it's funny because I have twins who are in the club. So what I did every promotion is I make them co-vice presidents. That way it's not like, oh, you're up here, you're down here. I just make them both co-vice presidents, and it's been working really well. So yeah, I just assign leadership roles, and if you have a lot of girls and you want everyone to have a leadership role, remember you could also add on to things like social media or finance or just anything that is a role that could keep your club thriving.
Yeah, so for us, I talked through this very briefly.
Some advice I have for new club leaders, um, there's basically four key points, and I'm not going to go in depth with them, but you want to make sure you're patient because let's say you just put out your ad and not enough people have joined yet. Just be patient. Know that good things take time. It's not going to happen in one night or in the blink of an eye, so just stay patient. And then you also need to believe in yourself. Believe that what you're doing is going to really make a difference. Believe that it's going to work out and just you have to believe in yourself and be confident in yourself that you can be able to do it. And also remember that the Girl Up supports you. There are so many resources. You could go on the website, you could talk to Girl Up Post. There's so many people who are there to support you and give you advice because you're not going to know everything when you start. That's kind of how a lot of things are in life. You usually have to learn as you go. So you're going to be learning a lot of stuff when you join Girl Up or start your own club. And it's going to be really good stuff and probably stuff you'll be taking to the rest of your life, to your future, to your career. Just leadership skills and a lot of other good skills in life. So you want to make sure you're being patient, you want to be believe in yourself, and you also just want to make sure that you remember you're being supported not just by your community but also by Girl Up itself, and there's always going to be resources or people to talk to help you figure out your way so you and your Girl Up club can thrive.
Yeah, just going off of that really